Welcome to episode 2, now for someone completely interesting. My name is Ben Poulin, and joining me, a friend of mine that I met about 10 years ago when he actually bought a car from me. Since then, he's moved into the neighborhood just down the street from us. I've learned that, well, in his teen years, he spent some time in Italy where he went to school. Back in Canada, back in Thunder Bay, Ontario, he learned the skills of making authentic Italian pizza, and to this day shares that skill with friends and family that we're very grateful for. You've worked in forestry, worked in the oil patch, great community volunteer with things like minor hockey. I know you've coached there. And most recently, you're indulgent into fitness and healthy living has led you to get your certification as a nutrition coach. So I'm very excited to welcome someone completely interesting, my friend and neighbor, Giovanni Zeppitelli. We all know him, of course, throughout St. Paul as John. Thanks so much for joining me. And, I'm sure I'm forgetting something else that I'd love to share, but you know what, if I think about it a little bit later, I might throw it in there. But first of all, welcome, John. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you very much, Ben. It's an honor to be here. Being your second guest on your show, that's awesome, man.
Well, let me tell you what's awesome is I released the first episode, and before you even listened to it, you texted me and said, "Man, I'm in. When do you want me to come in and do this?" And I was really happy about that because I actually had you on my list. When I first thought of the show, I was like, "Well, I got to come up with a list of people I want on here." Your name was for sure in the top five. So when you volunteered for that, I was like, "Oh, you saved me an extra phone call there and pleading and begging to come on the
Well,
show."
yeah, and that's the thing. I started this podcast, you may say, or not really podcast, but um, Define Your Life Now, which is basically a healthy living style type of thing. Kind of goes through my life
Hmm.
and where I'm at right now, and I'm telling you right now, the best part about my life right now is the way that I'm feeling. Um, you know, as soon as the coronavirus hit, a lot of people were going through a lot of things, and with myself, very anxious. Was going through a lot of worries myself. Am I gonna still have my job? Am I gonna be set? Like, am I gonna be okay? Like a lot of people are worried, and I'm a type of guy that worries. So, um, what I did is I took some time off work and started to look after myself and started walking with my wife and doing a lot of reflecting on my past history and where I was at and how do I become better. And this is basically where I've come, where it is, the only way we're going to feel better is if we start looking after ourselves. And
Hmm.
so that's exactly what I'm doing right now.
I'm glad you brought that up. That kind of leads into a little bit of where I want to go. So define your life now. That's like your Facebook page, your Instagram, where people can kind of follow your journey that you've taken on right now with health and fitness. Um, so using that title, if you could share maybe a moment or a story of what defines your life, what's that story that you'd like to share with us?
Um, what defines my life now is basically something that I've always wanted. Um, Balance was the biggest thing. I still struggle with the all or nothing type attitude, but I needed balance, and the biggest thing was my relationship. Um, my relationship wasn't the greatest with my wife and with my family. Working long hours, working in the oil field is a great thing, but it's also challenging for people that want to make a good living for themselves, and it's a very demanding job. So working away from home and stuff like that, and but yeah, so basically that leads into another thing with defining my life is um, my struggles with depression and anxiety are still till this day one a couple things that do affect me in my life, and I needed something to manage that other than medication. Uh, Medication helps. I suggest anyone that does need that to stay on that stuff, but I needed something more that helps me become a better person, you know, with my wife, with my family, and um, wanted to feel good about myself. So, you know, we started walking and we started working on our relationship and, you know, hours and hours of counseling and, you know, and so what happened is a lot of things started happening where I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know how many pounds now, like 63 pounds or
Wow.
something like that. So, um, it's where, you know, you start feeling good and, you
Hmm.
know, you want to help people. And that's one thing that I want to try to do with this Facebook page and
Hmm.
Instagram page is, you know, just here's my journey. It's out there for everyone to see. You know, it's not professionally done or anything like that. It's just me throwing in little bits and pieces of, you know, how my day was going or, you know, how things are going in my life.
It's actually, I find it relatable. You know what I mean? You're a guy that works full time. You got a full time family, and then you're still doing all this stuff. Like, I mean, you've got some pretty lofty goals with your long term fitness and everything like that. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But one thing, like you mentioned here, is we started walking. We started like, and I know just because I mean we're down the street. I noticed that it was a family venture that you guys were getting into with fitness and everything. Was that something that was decided on, or it just kind of happened with you?
Um, I think it just happened because what happened is I started feeling better about myself, and you know what? Not only bad things spread really easy, but good things spread easy too. And the thing is I started feeling better, so you know the whole household changed. You know, like to be honest with you, I was a fucking asshole. So uh, uh, so I had to change that. I had to you know change,
Right.
and you know change doesn't come easy, and it comes with a price, and the thing you know invest in yourself. Um, do the things you want to do. I mean, this life is short, so that's what I started to do. Just started focusing on myself and my family.
Eh, Okay, so we started, and everybody in the community noticed. You're a pretty well-known guy around St. Paul here. You've been involved in a lot of things, so and in a lot of good ways. So, um, people saw you and your wife walking around town, and I mean everywhere around town. When we
Yeah.
say we walked around, it's a 10-kilometer loop at least, and you guys were doing it mornings, evenings. Um, it started simply with walking, but now where you're at now, like is I said, there's some lofty goals in front of you. Do you want to talk a little bit about what's the next step in your
So right now, I've stepped it up a little bit. I've been starting to train now. I have a goal of doing my first men's competition in October. Hopefully that still happens. But originally my goal was to do it when I hit 40 years old. So the goal is actually creeping up here in about 8 months or so, or 7 months, whatever it is. But I'm pretty excited, and I'm working as hard as I can with you know all the other things that are going on in my life, and um, but it's definitely can be a struggle. I mean, with the diet and everything like that, it's not easy. But you know, we have some.
I don't know a lot about what goes into bodybuilding. I know a little bit because I've talked to some people before about it, but I'll tell you this. I've competed in ultra distance running, and I'll tell you right now, it's much easier to train and run 100 miles or 100 kilometers than it is to get yourself in the kind of shape and condition to be confident enough to stand up there and compete in men's bodybuilding of any caliber.
Yeah, and that's one thing that with me, people that know me, you know me. I'm a very outgoing person, very loud. Uh, But one thing when it comes to, even doing stuff like this, I kind of choke. So I'm definitely putting myself in a situation where I've never been before. And at the same time, I'm actually putting my body on the line where it's, like it's out there for people to see and for people to judge. So
Hmm.
I know a lot of people don't like being judged, but it's like, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta face your fear, and that's what I'm doing. That's
That's very applaudable, actually. I honestly, I mean, not me. I would never be able to put myself in that position. So that's quite incredible. Um, I mean, really got into this. Well, two things. Define Your Life came about with your Facebook page, your Instagram, and everything, and putting yourself out there like that as well. Did that put a little bit of pressure on you too?
uh, I've had conversations with my wife multiple times that sometimes I think I put a little bit too much on my plate, and but it's a balance. So
Hmm.
I mean, I'm gonna do a little bit here and I'll do a little bit there, and then hopefully it all balances out where I'm able to do everything. But
Because I mean, it doesn't matter what I mean your intentions were with this. This was just about kind of almost like an online diary or public diary of your journey with health and fitness. But regardless, it doesn't matter that when you go public with something like this, the intentions that you have, people are still going to judge. And do you ever feel that you're already being judged?
I think our the biggest judge is ourselves. I mean, I always used to think, I cared about what people thought and stuff like that. But I mean, we still all do it once in a while. I could really care less. I mean, I'm trying to become a better person. I think I'm showing it. I've showed the people that matter to me that change is possible.
Hmm.
So I mean, that's one of the biggest things. So
Absolutely. And so another step that's come about in this evolution is just it wasn't that long ago that you earned your certification as a nutrition coach. What goes into accomplishing something like that?
yeah, so that's again, right? Because I'm a all or nothing type of guy. So I started, looking into this nutrition stuff, and you go on Google or you go on Facebook, and you start typing in stuff, and stuff is all popping up on your feed all the time, and so I had seen Precision Nutrition, which is a program that is founded by Dr. John Berardi. Uh, yeah, so I looked into it and completed it in 5 months, and basically it helps people like you and I, helps people that want to do competitions um, on a lower grade, but counting all your macros and all that good stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but just trying to help people change their lives around when it comes to nutrition, because what we're putting into our bodies is basically going to make us feel bad or feel good. So, uh, good nutrition, good health, you feel good.
Absolutely.
So,
Definitely find that out firsthand. So, um, what's the I mean, we talked a little bit on the fitness side of it, but then with you getting that nutrition certification, what is going to be some of the, I guess maybe the long-term goals with that? Are you looking as a business perspective of that, or is it just something that just kind of augments what you've already started and helps with the direction you're going with?
yeah, like overall, like I originally wanted to do this course for my own knowledge. Um, so, eventually, if it does turn into like a business, that's great. But for now, like I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing and just show people, you know, I'm gonna put all the practice in myself, and then if people are willing to come out and
Mhm.
talk and message me or anything like that, I'm willing to help. So
It's funny you say that. It's you've been kind of more subtle about it and not really in your face, so to speak, about look what I've been doing, so much as talking about it. But people have noticed. the physical changes that have occurred with you and stuff like that. So um, it's actually quite impressive.
Oh,
I
thanks.
mean,
I appreciate
and
that.
it started with walking. Like
Yeah.
how easy is it to go for a walk and just kind of get the ball rolling with something like that?
Um, well, our walks were sometimes interesting. I mean, a walk, we did a lot of our talking during our walks. We had a lot of stuff going on in our life, and the thing was, is we just needed to get away. We needed to, so we just started walking, and then I believe it was you that challenged me to 21 kilometer half marathon. So I'm
Yeah,
like, well, well, we had what, three options or something? Was
I
it
think
like
you could do a 5, a 10, and a 21 or
a
something like
21?
that.
Yeah. So I said, screw it, we're gonna do 21 kilometers, and yeah, that was a big thing too
Hmm.
with walking. But I don't know, it would just it started off one day just walking. I think we started off doing like 1.5 kilometers or something like that, just a short 15-minute
Hmm.
walk. And then the next day, 15, 20 minutes. And then it started becoming a routine. And that was one of the biggest things that I've learned with the nutrition program is small actions over a period of time become routine, which then become part of your life. Um, so, and again, that's good or bad. I chose to, to do this. We chose to do the walking, which was it was easier for us to just go for a walk and get away and
Yeah.
start talking and stuff like that. So and we started feeling good. So I mean, we got a lot of shit off our chest,
Yeah.
talking with about our problems and no, it was good. Like we
So it sounds like
talked.
physical and mental therapy at the same time
Oh,
almost.
absolutely.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So with all these changes and stuff like that too, and I guess that's the thing you touched on it right off the top that you have had some situations where you've had to battle with mental health on your own front and everything like that. Now you say, I mean, the medication helps, but how has this helped on top of all that?
Well, first of all, when it comes to mental health, like I'd like to rewind, go back to 2007, where number one, I've never been afraid to talk about my mental health. I think it's really something that people need to know and need to talk about
Hmm.
because there's not just one person in the world that's going through shit. I mean, all of us are going through it. 2007, you know, my son was 6 months old. Um, I'm a working dad going out doing my stuff, and then all of a sudden I come home and I'm not feeling good and I don't want to go to work and feeling sad and crying for no reason, and so I don't know what the hell was going on. Like there was some stuff going on, and then it got to the point where like it was either I was gonna go a route that I didn't want to go,
Hmm.
and lucky my wife was in the medical field. She's in the nursing field at the time, and she got me into the hospital, and I spent probably just over two. Well, no, it was about a month in the hospital,
Hmm.
and got things ironed out there. And yeah, it turns out that I had major depression disorder. Me, an outgoing guy,
Yeah.
um, laughing, doing everything that normal people do. Turns out that yeah, I had depression, and I got a pretty good case of it. So yeah, so I had to take time off work then and get that all sorted out, and yeah, brings me to here. So
Right.
yeah, so when it comes to mental health, it's always been one thing that I really take serious.
Right.
It's
And I know a few people like in your situation like that have become outspoken about it, and we're starting to hear more about it. Um, I'm just wondering, you spent some time in the hospital, and this is where some people that I know have gotten frustrated with mental health care in the province or in the country is that there's not enough of it. Did you ever feel like that, or do you still feel like that?
I'm going to tell you something right now. With the care that I got
Hmm.
in Edmonton was probably some of the best care that I have ever had in my life.
Right.
Um, but not all situations are the same. I'm very fortunate that I got really good care, um, and was able to not, I mean, get out of the hospital, but have tools to manage
Right.
um, the the episodes or the feeling down and all
Hmm.
the stuff that goes with depression.
And correct me if I'm wrong on this too, but again, I've talked to other people that have had their own mental health struggles and a wide variety of what kind of symptoms I guess they've dealt with. But some one of the reoccurring things is there's just no real explanation as to why they feel like they do. There's nothing that really sets it off. Is that something that you encountered yourself, or was there kind of a progression into it that led to it? Because it seems like it almost caught you off guard.
Well, it funny that you asked that is because I actually asked my wife, a couple weeks ago. I said, like what really did happen? Um, I don't know. Like I said, like my son was 6 months old.
Hmm.
I'm a new dad. You know, was it postpartum depression?
Yeah.
Like that dads get.
Right.
I have no idea. But there was a lot of things that I had going on in my life when I was young that I would never do to my kids that I went through. So
Right.
I could see definitely there's being some sort of like trigger
Okay.
or something like that. I think there is, but I'm not a doctor, but if your serotonin
Yeah.
levels can drop, and you can.
And yeah, the only reason I thought of it is because, like you said, me knowing you now, and I only learned about your your uh, your struggles with mental health only in like the last year that you've really talked about it. Because I know you had a little bit of a dip there a year ago too when you started this. I know we visited and talked about it, so it kind of surprised me. And isn't that always the case, right? The happy outgoing people, you just never expect it. So it just yeah, I didn't see it coming with you, so that it was.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I think a lot of people that have that type of um, maybe not all people. Like I don't want to like for myself, I'd always kind of put on like a mask where it was like more of like like how do I stay happy for these people?
right.
Like trying to make everyone else happy when I'm struggling myself. And when I see people laugh and when I see people happy, it makes me happy. But yet you're battling with demons inside, and
Right.
like it's
And maybe that's the message we have to convey to that if anybody is feeling that way, that they actually maybe talk about it and reach out and maybe we'll start with that. I mean, it's we always hear about the let's talk, but is it just talking about acknowledging it, or is it people who are actually going through it are the ones that need to reach out, and we have to uh, make sure that they're getting the same kind of health care that you would get for if you break a leg or something like that, right?
right. And yeah, that's one thing too, is when it comes to mental health. I mean, not everyone, you can't see your brain. So
Right.
a broken leg, yeah, you see the broken leg, it's swollen.
Hmm.
But when it comes to the brain, that's a different story. And I encourage anyone that is feeling uh, depressed or really anxious to go get help, and you know trust the process. I mean, when no one's out there to get you, it's sometimes we're just fighting with ourselves. And this is just my belief. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are going through a lot worse than what I've gone through. But again, this is my story,
Hmm.
and just putting it out there for others to know.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
Oh, not
Actually,
a problem.
really appreciate it because yeah, maybe just someone hearing that it's okay, right? And let's
Oh, it is.
yeah, and
Yeah.
let's let's reach out and make sure that everybody can get the help they need. So, um, John, I'm gonna probably start wrapping it up right now because I want to save some stories for down the line too. I don't want to burn all my sources with you
Okay.
all at once. But thank you so much for coming on today and sharing like a lot of what I was kind of suspecting that this is the direction we were going in. So I'm glad you did that. And as I explained before, when I do the show, I'm going to give you the heads up with the question and everything. You're going to know more about what's going on than I do. So thanks for sharing that. And oh, you know what? I did remember one thing I wanted to share. One more thing that I wanted to share that is a bit of a talent of yours.
Oh,
You know what? People don't realize that you're actually a pretty good singer. Actually, no.
am I a good singer?
Anybody that knows you and has heard you will actually probably say that you're a really good singer. So would you mind if you could just I think you're ready for this. Can you sing a little bit
Well,
of one of your favorite songs for us just to showcase how
yeah,
diverse and
I could.
interesting
I
John
could.
Zappitelli is. All right.
But before I do that, I do wanna mention something. I did mention on my Facebook and Instagram, I joined a men's circle. So if anyone that wants to join this, you can check them out on it on Instagram. It's Rising Wolf 444, or you can hit them up on Facebook, Rising Wolf. It's a nonprofit organization where men can get together in a confidential and safe place to talk about whatever's going on in your life. And yeah, so um, yeah, I guess now I gotta sing,
Yeah.
eh?
Before you do that, thank you so much for mentioning that. I'm going to get all the particulars on that, and as well as for Define Your Life Now. We're going to put that in our episode notes as well, so people can find it there. But yeah, John,
Okay.
impress us.
Well, what song do you want to hear?
No, it's your pick, man.
Oh, ah,
I don't- I
okay.
want you to be comfortable
I
with
I
this.
know, I
Okay.
know. I gotta find a song. Actually, I wasn't prepared, but I'm gonna find a song here, and I'm gonna sing it.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go.
I don't know how to fill in time like this. Sorry.
Kurt Price knows some good tunes.
Oh man. Yeah.
What? Well, how did it go?
I could probably give you a little music line if you want to just make something up as we
Like,
go, but
I don't know. Maybe I could sing something for you, like for your podcast.
that's what I'm hoping for. This is for longevity purposes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, geez, you really put me on the spot today, eh?
What's something well, you sang the national anthem at hockey games here in town for the junior B team.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to go with that, or I know you've recorded. There's that one that well, it's a duet, and unfortunately, I'm not going to help you out with that one. That one from the Bradley Cooper one from A Star Is Born.
Oh yeah. Shallow. But yeah, that's a duet.
Yeah.
What I'll do is, you know what? For all of us Canadians out there, I think we'll go with a national anthem.
Okay.
Does that sound good or what?
Sing us out with the national. We should have done this at the beginning, but yeah, sing us out with the national anthem, ladies
Okay.
and gentlemen. John Zappitelli.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O
want people to clap for that right now. That is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Paul's very own J-Zee, John Zappitelli.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. Okay. John's Instagram and Facebook, you can find him at Define Your Life Now, even if you just need a little bit of inspiration to get yourself going in the right direction. If you want some tips, anything. And then tell us again about the group there, Rising Wolf.
Rising Wolf, which is a men's circle. You can find them on Instagram, Rising Wolf 444, and on Facebook, Rising Wolf. It's a nonprofit organization for men and men's health.
Thank you so much, John Zappitelli. I'm sure we're going to be talking many more times in the future. Someone completely interesting. Join us again in 2 more weeks here. We'll have another guest lined up. You can find us, the podcast itself, through our Instagram at Poolin Radio. On Facebook, we're on Poolin Radio. And you can just search us out on all our social medias there to find out where you can listen to the podcast. Just search out Poolin Radio or Now for Someone Completely Interesting. And thank you so much again, John Zappitelli, someone completely